With Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny coming out soon in theaters, we're revisiting the Indiana Jones films. So today let's talk about the second film in the franchise, Temple of Doom. Hey everybody, my name is Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services. If you guys are like me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming content. In 1935, Indiana Jones is tasked by Indian villagers with reclaiming a rock stolen from them by a secret cult beneath the catacombs of an ancient palace. So Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was released in 1984, and if you watched my first review of Raiders of the Lost Ark, you'll know that I didn't watch the original trilogy until I was in college, and at that point I had heard about the darker themes and tone for Temple of Doom, and I was very curious about this movie as an adult watching it, and it is much darker than its predecessor. And this is actually set before Raiders of the Lost Ark, a year before that film. And a lot of people put this film off based on the violence for in its darker tone. It is not as adventurous as Raiders of the Lost Ark. But I still think Temple of Doom is a really entertaining movie. I love how this film opens up in a Shanghai nightclub after narrowly escaping danger. We have Short Round introduced in the beginning of the film, and Willie Scott as well, our female character within the movie that pairs with Indiana Jones. And together the three of them venture off outside of Shanghai. And they embark on a journey to India, where they stumble upon a small village desperate in need of their help. And right away the plot is more dangerous than Raiders of the Lost Ark, and the way that the villagers are describing what is happening to the children that are being taken, it really sets the tone early on that it is going to be a more dangerous, more serious plot for Indiana Jones. And that highlights the challenging nature of his adventure. And the temple sequences and everything that Indiana Jones comes across are visually stunning. And the work that goes into this movie, very similar to Raiders of the Lost Ark, with its set designs and its stunts, it really highlights that sinister plot that is in here, as we have a lot of tension built throughout this movie, leading to our really grand finale of the movie. It highlights that plot very well, with the interactions between our characters, the tension throughout, the set design, everything about it. It does feel very darker than its predecessor. A lot of it does showcase Steven Spielberg's brilliant direction in Temple of Doom and how he is taking risks with this movie. It is much darker than Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's not as adventurous. It is a more serious, grounded venture for Indiana Jones, and I appreciate that he wasn't trying to recapture that same charm from that movie. He wanted to do something different, and he did a great job with this movie. I think Indiana Jones Temple of Doom is really thrilling, and I appreciate that darker tone to this movie. But once again, Harrison Ford is really good as Indiana Jones. He is, we see in this movie that there are a lot of tasks, challenges that he comes across, and at times even the look on Harrison Ford's face, he has a hard time believing what is happening, and it, like I said, it adds to that atmosphere of the film. But you do realize that he is thinking about the situation and how dangerous it really is, and that adds to the vulnerability. Something I highlighted in my first review is that the way that Harrison Ford portrays Indiana Jones, we don't view him like this superhero. We're not idolizing this character. We do believe that he's great at what he does. He has a lot of knowledge of ancient history and artifacts as well, but he is vulnerable. He's afraid of snakes, and we see a lot of that within this movie of the way that he's navigating himself through the temple with the other characters as well. He is afraid at times of things, and it just deepens this character and makes him one of the best movie characters of all time. I loved young Jonathan K. Kwan's performance as Short Round, adds a lot of humor to the film, and he gets involved with a lot of the adventure scenes as well. You really care for this character throughout the movie. And I do like Kate Capshaw's Willie Scott. She does bring like this comedic style to the film. She's not as memorable as Marion Ravenwood in the first film, and at times she really does play the damsel in distress. She's constantly yelling Indiana Jones' name, but I like the character. She does have undeniable chemistry with Harrison Ford, and she manages to hold her own during some big action scenes despite at times being that damsel in distress. But there are a lot of darker themes that are in here as we deal with child slavery and human sacrifice as well. This was a movie I didn't want to show my daughter. She did watch Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but I thought that I don't think she was old enough to watch Temple of Doom with some of its darker themes, its more darker atmosphere compared to its predecessor. When you look at the child slavery and the human sacrifice and the set designs for the temple as well, and our villain as well, and our villain too, there's a lot of things that could put people off when you come straight after Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it's very almost times that lighthearted, fun, adventurous feel to it, and then you go in here, it's much darker. And we do have a really sinister villain in here, Bolo Ram, as our main antagonist to the movie. A really great build up for him, as when you introduce the plot and that children are being taken, and you wonder immediately who is kind of controlling everything. And once we introduce him, and from there on out, the presence of this villain is felt and adds to the atmosphere of this movie, and a really crazy over-the-top performance that does work for the tone and the story for Temple of Doom. But overall, Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom pushes its boundaries. It nicely balances its adventurous moments with the darker themes within this film. It may not be as loved as other Indiana Jones movies, but I like the risk that Steven Spielberg took with this movie. The set designs is absolutely beautiful. The stunt work in here is amazing as well. Harrison Ford once again gives a really good performance, and we are introduced to a very iconic character of Short Round within this movie. The movie is just a lot of fun. I appreciate the risk that it took, even if the themes are darker and it has some more touching subjects throughout the movie. I think it is a nice chapter in the Indiana Jones films. Not my favorite Indiana Jones movie, but I still really enjoy this movie and its departure from the tone set up in the first film. So before I give you my score for Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, make sure to check out my channel. Here I do movie reviews, trailer actions, ranking videos, tier lists, all that fun movie related content that you see on YouTube. I do it all here, so hit that subscribe button to get it all in one spot. Stay tuned, next week I'll have reviews for Last Crusade and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull as well, leading up to Dial of Destiny, and then I'll have a ranking video for the Indiana Jones movies as well. I'm going to go ahead and give Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom an A-. Thank you guys for checking my review for Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom. Let me know what you thought about the film in the comment section down below, and share some of your memories as well. My name is Just Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.